The stream can hear me now, but they can't see me yet. And 3, 2, 1. You guys can see me. Good morning, good afternoon, and good whatever time it is, and welcome to another episode of Trevantine, the podcast in which you get to hear the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of an 18-year-old senior in high school being affected by the coronavirus. So, in the midst of this coronavirus thing, something very interesting is going on with all the Liberty Public Schools, and they are hosting their own Rocket League tournament, something that many people really haven't seen before, or really we haven't really had esports in Liberty Public Schools. We've had stuff for our telethon and stuff, but never anything like true esports. So in a call with me, I have one of my pals, BURNIE, he goes by, who is one of the top 100 in the world in Rocket League. BURNIE, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up, Trevor? My name is Austin. I am a senior at Liberty North along with Trevor. And yeah, next year I'm going to Missouri S&T to study electrical engineering, so that'll be exciting.
So what game do you play?
Yeah, so primarily I play Rocket League. Obviously with my friends I play other games, which is fun as well. But Rocket League is really kind of what hooked me when I started playing it, and so I kind of got competitive with it.
All right. What rank are you? Do you know off the top of your head?
Right now I don't, but yeah, I'm up there a little bit. Yeah, you could say.
Up there a little bit. How long have you been playing Rocket League?
Yeah, so I actually got the game like pretty much right after it came out in 2015 because my friend Cooper actually told me about it. So I've been playing for probably over 3 years now, just either casually or competitively. And just over that long period of time, you just kind of get better at a game when you play it for so much.
Mm-hmm. And have you played did you start on like PlayStation and go to PC, or have you always been on PC?
Yeah, actually, the first time I played the game was interesting. I was actually at Cooper's house, and he got it on PlayStation because for the game they had like a special deal where it was free to play on PlayStation. So he thought it looked interesting. He got it, and when I was there, I played it, and I realized like, wow, this game is like something I've never seen before. And so I ended up getting it on my Xbox, I think, and I played it a little bit. And then whenever I was finally able to get a PC, I got it there and kept grinding the game, which felt really nice.
So what really hooked you into Rocket League compared to like anything else?
Well, I feel like with gaming, a lot of games go into this like or fall under the shooter category, and we kind of just get this repetitive loop of new shooter games coming out. But when you look at Rocket League, it's something that we've never seen before in gaming, like playing soccer with cars. It's a really good concept. And the other thing with it, when you think about it competitively, since it's such a repetitive motion, like it's just the same thing every game. It's such an easy thing to turn into an esport. But the other thing that helped me like really continue wanting to play the game is the fact that getting better at it is it's pretty difficult, and there's like no one in the world is as good as you can be at the game, if that makes sense. Like there's always a way to get better at the game, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things with a competitive game, because it allows you to keep playing and you'll never run out of things to try and get better at.
For sure. Since I mean, people often say that Rocket League's very repetitive. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the repetitive nature just makes it prime for like competitive games?
Yeah, I think when you look at like physical sports and how popular they are, like when you look at football and baseball and stuff like that, how popular they are in America, they're all repetitive sports when you think about it. Like it's the same thing every game, but it's the idea that the way you play it and like how good you are at it determines the outcome. And that's the same thing with Rocket League. Like it is the same thing. It's just soccer, but with cars. But when you look at like what people are able to do whenever they play competitively, that changes like how interesting it is to watch and stuff like that. And it also keeps the game interesting to watch too. But I think like the fact that there is no skill ceiling to the game is the reason that people can keep watching it.
So obviously, esports are kind of big now, right? So, uh, there's
Yeah.
$1 million tournaments and stuff going on. Do you think that, especially like in a time like right now, that esports will eventually take over normal sports, or do you think they'll be pretty consistent?
Well, I think it's tough because obviously physical sports is never going to go away. I think esports will continue to rise and it'll reach out to more people because there's still a lot of people out there who just have never heard of it in general. And so they think of the idea as just being, bad. But when you look at the time commitment that people put into esports, like people that are professional in games, it's very comparable to people who are professional in physical sports. Obviously, it's not the same thing. You know, there's a lot, like when you're playing a physical sport, you got to eat healthy and you've got to work out and stuff like that and stay in shape. But the time commitment is still the same, and I like the money is the same as well now. It's growing, so I think people are going to start seeing more esports coming up and almost being equivalent to physical sports when it comes to viewers on broadcasts and stuff like that.
Hmm. Would you say could you be born a natural at a video game? Because most people can say
Um,
they are naturals with sports or something.
yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it depends on the type of game. Like shooter games, some people are just naturally really good at playing those. But I do think that if anyone wants to get into gaming, it's all about like how much time you want to put into if you actually want to get good at something. I think it's the same thing with sports too. Like maybe you're not naturally talented at a sport, but if as long as you put in the time to practice it, you will get good at it. And I think that's something important to remember if someone wants to get good at a video game.
Now, so obviously we really don't have esports at the high school level. Do you think by Liberty Public Schools dipping their feet into the water with it that it'll take off?
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good idea, especially because of all this quarantine stuff. You know, like it's not like there's really much else we can do. So this is kind of a way for the school to reach out to all of their students and get them involved in something. And like I know the tournament for the school is open to people who've never played the game before. So I mean, literally anybody that goes to our school or the other schools that are involved can get involved in this. And I definitely think that if Liberty North is doing this and other schools in our area, like you said, then it will start to reach out to more high schools, like not only just in Missouri, but I know I have friends that live in other states. Like I've talked to my friend in Texas who goes to high school, and their school actually has been doing a Rocket League like league event for over a year now. So I think the more that high schools start to do it, and especially since the college tournaments are so big, it will start to spread eventually, which will be really cool to see.
Mm. Um, so with this tournament, do you think what are your thoughts on it? Like obviously it's an open tournament and you are considered one of the higher ranked
Yeah.
players.
um, like I said, I think it's a really cool idea that people who have never played will get to play. But I don't know. It might be a little bit unfair that I get to play in it. In the end, I think the whole thing's just for fun, so it's not really a big deal. That there's not people who are amazing at the game in the tournament. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's just a chance for everyone to get to do something through their school, you know, and show their school spirit, stuff like that, and play against other schools too. I think that's one of the coolest parts is that you can have cross school rivalries with something like this.
Oh, for sure. Especially if the like final round is Liberty North, that'd be funny to
Yeah, that would
see.
be really cool.
Um,
And hopefully, with the stream they have, you know, people are actually watching and people get into it, you know, because maybe it gets really big and people from our school actually do see it, or maybe not. We'll just have to see what happens.
yeah, that could be potentially interesting. I know. Well, I mean, with broadcasting, we have deals with ESPN3 for football, basketball, and games like that. Imagine esports taking that next jump. That'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
that'd be cool.
So who's on your team this year?
Yeah, so I'm playing with the Cooper guy that I talked about and Logan, and we're playing in the high school tournament. And then my actual competitive team, I play with my college team. So those are the guys from Missouri S&T, where I'll be going next fall, and they're actually around the same rank as me. So those are the two guys that I really try to like get better at the game with. But like I said, with Cooper and Logan, this high school tournament should be really fun to play in.
Hmm.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, good luck, guys. How how does college esports work?
Yeah, so the thing about college esports, it's a lot like physical sports too. Like you're kind of stuck with the people that go to your college as your teammates, right? But since physical sports are bigger, it's a lot easier for coaches to go and like actually recruit and get the players that they want and handpick their teams. But with esports, since it's not nearly as big yet, the colleges just kind of get what comes to them. So it's actually really cool. I think Mizzou, just this last spring, has installed like a full facility and stuff like that, and they're actually giving out scholarships for their esports teams, which would be really nice because Missouri S&T, all we have right now is just a club for it, which it's sponsored by the school, but we don't actually get any money from them yet. So if we can do good enough in college tournaments, then obviously it start to turn into more like a physical sport where the college really recognizes it like Mizzou does now, and they'll actually, give us a space to practice and give us funding for stuff like that, which would be really, really nice. But for college tournament wise, there's a lot of people who throw tournaments, and the biggest ones are thrown by the company who made the game, and they'll put on a league for colleges to try to qualify for, and then who see who can get first place.
Oh wow. So how do you guys practice now?
Yeah, with everything being online, we obviously don't have an esports room or anything. I'm obviously not down at Rolla and at Missouri S&T, so we kind of just keep in touch on Discord and through text message. And whenever they want to, play against other college teams, if we want to play online or just play the game, then they'll send a message and we'll just say, yeah, let's get on and practice right now, because there's not really a lot else to do besides schoolwork. So yeah, we just kind of we play, we save replays, we look through our issues, stuff like that. Just trying to get better at the game in general.
And if I'm not mistaken, you do stream. Did you want to shout out your Twitch or anything?
Yeah, sure. Twitch.tv/Bernie_RL. I don't stream a whole lot, but when I do, it's usually pretty fun. I like to talk to people who come and watch. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Right on. And then I guess last question I have for you is, do you have any advice for future people that want to pursue esports?
Yeah, I think it's definitely okay to get started on console and stuff like that. But if you find a game that you actually enjoy playing competitively, then I would say go for it. And if you want to put in the time, then I would say do it. Definitely switching to PC in the long run is the better bet if you're trying to really go competitive. But like I said earlier, it's not kind of off the question of is there natural talent. Yes, there might be, but if you want to get good at a video game, as long as you practice it, there's always a possibility that you can. So don't ever let that discourage you if you're trying to get good at something. Yeah, I think that's it.
Right on, Bernie. Well, thanks for coming on today. I appreciate you talking and taking your time to speak with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll catch you later.
See you, Trevor.
See you, Bernie. And that was the fantastic Mr. Austin Burnett, future esports pro. Let me get up and personal with you guys here. He's a fellow. I love playing with him. I'm gonna widen this camera up a little bit actually. Love playing with him, dude. We play CS:GO all the time, and I think it's fantastic that esports are becoming popular enough, especially popular enough to play competitively and win money for it. I know ever since I was a kid, I've been playing video games, and to think the fact now that I can play video games and at the same time make money, it's insane. I never thought this would become a thing. I know when I was like 10 or so, maybe like 12 or so, live streaming like video games started becoming a thing and people started getting paid for it, and I know that hooked me in immediately, and that's actually how I got my start, really. So I've always been into film. I've always made movies and stuff, but video games and playing it like competitively and then even getting funny moments is really how I got all my skills editing, which is funny. I used to have like a Broxio game capture, and I would hook that up to my Xbox, and I would play my games with my friends and record stuff, and then I'll just chop up funny moments. And like even yesterday, dude, we were playing CS:GO, and we ran into this Carl Weezer impersonator, and he is spot on. And I don't know, like I used to have a gaming channel and I still have the channel, but I don't know if I want to pick it back up. I mean, I've been playing so much more video games now that I have all this free time, so maybe I can. I don't know. I just feel it feels weird, I don't think gaming, in my opinion, maybe because I fell out of the gaming community, probably at the beginning of high school, but I think it's just super interesting to think that it's now like super mainstream and it's like cool, because I don't know, I feel like at a time it was like not cool to play video games, but times change and it's changing for the good. I love playing video games. I'll never give that up. It's just finding the time is the hardest part. I mean, and now with all this time we have, it's so much easier to start getting into it. And like Bernie said, man, you just kind of gotta just go for it, especially if you find something that you really love to do and you really want to do competitively. Just do it. What's stopping you? And one thing Bernie brought up is that this is a great opportunity for future years, and I agree. But one thing I just want to bring up is, why does everything have to happen in our senior year, like my senior year? I think that's a big tough thing too. Is like, men's volleyball became a thing my senior year. Esports is becoming a thing my senior year, and it's like, come on, man, why couldn't we have done this a little sooner? Whenever I could have, actually competed the rest of my high school career. I don't know. It's just little things, and it's kind of upsetting because you plan and you think about like, oh, this would be so cool if we did this. It'd be so cool if we did that. But now it's actually happening, and it's happening the year that we're losing on school and we're not finishing my senior year, or it's happening on the time where we're not able to continue our high school career. But yeah, that's really about it for today's segment on how coronavirus is affecting us. I still think esports is a great thing, and I'm so happy and so glad to see that it's a viable thing, especially something that could be uh, formatted into the future, especially collegiately. I'm so proud of my dude BURNIE. I mean, I remember he was in my sophomore ELA class, and we were literally just talking about video games, and he talked about how he was like top 200 in the United States, or maybe it was in the world at the time in Rocket League, and then it just felt like every year he kept climbing up that ladder. And it's weird to think that like a couple days ago he was ranked 92 in the world, and the probably encounters he has with like actual professional players is interesting. I know we're in a Discord together, and he has one of his like team captains, I think a team captain in the Discord, and like he comes on and talks to us, and it's strange whenever you think of people in these elevated statuses and higher levels, but they just talk to you like you're a normal person. So super interesting to see. Esports definitely the future. I know if I found a game I was super interested in, I would definitely pursue it. I've been playing a lot of CS lately. I just got Rocket League, so I've been playing a lot of Rocket League. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't touched Animal Crossing in a while, and I think that's just because I don't know. It's hard when there's like not an actual goal, in my opinion. I don't know. It's very grindy, and I like it. It's such a peaceful game. It's just whenever I could be playing CS, or I could be playing Call of Duty Warzone, or I could be playing even Rocket League. I think it's so much more fun to just chill and play those games, and I don't want to say stop everything I'm doing to go play Animal Crossing. But yeah, that's today's segment on how coronavirus is affecting us. Now we can get to the news. First headline we have from the New York Times is a rift between the White House and states threatening a cohesive response plan. So basically what's happening right here is that Trump declared on Monday that he alone would make the decision when and how to reopen the country, and this was a day after he argued that the states were largely in charge of fighting the coronavirus pandemic, just hours after governors on the East and West Coast announced that they would work together to plan to reopen businesses. His reversal raised profound constitutional questions about presidential power on him once again, and the potential collusion course with the state. So this is the big problem, and a lot of problems we see with the United States government system, and that's just the balance of power and the checks and balances. When you have a president like Trump who thinks he can just take everything by the reins, of course he's going to try and do something to make a better light of his name and make things look better, especially after all the information and news is coming out that he could have done stuff to stop the coronavirus sooner. Super interesting to see, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the upcoming election also. Another headline we have is that Obama endorses Biden for president as Democrats turn to unifying the party. Everything, of course, Democrats are wanting to have a different president in the office right now, especially in a time like this where it seems like everything's going wrong because of the Trump administration. It's going to be interesting to see. Next headline we have is that the IMF predicts the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression, the IMF being the International Monetary Fund. They issued a stark warning about the economic damages of the coronavirus, saying on Tuesday that the global economy faces its worst downturn since the Great Depression, as shuttered factories, quarantines, and national lockdown causes economic output around the world to collapse. The grim forecast underscores the magnitude of the economic shock and pandemic has inflicted on both advanced and developing economies, and this daunting task that policymakers face in the containing of the fallout. With countries already hoarding medical supplies and the international travel curtailed, the IMF warned that the crisis threatens to reverse decades of gains of globalization. The IMF projected the global economy will contract 3% in 2020, an extraordinary reversal as earlier this year, when the fund forecast that the world economy would outpace 2019 and grow by 3.3%. we can see that everything apparently changed. It's we can't predict the future. Like the Andre 3000 or the Outcast song. You can't predict the weather. I don't know. I forgot the line of it, but yeah, you can't predict what's going to happen. We didn't really know this pandemic was going to happen. Sure, we had early signs of it, and we could have done stuff to stop it, but no one really knew this pandemic was going to happen. Let alone did we think our economy was going to crash and boom. I know going into 2020 there was all these like TikToks and all these memes that, oh man, we can't wait for the roaring 20s, and then because so many great things happened during the 20s, and then the Great Depression hit, and then I saw a meme like way before the economy actually fell that was like it was like, oh, the 2020 is going to be so great, we're going to have all these things, and then at the end it like turned on the Great Depression, and it was like, whoa, this is actually becoming real. But going right into the next headline is a recession looms as Democrats call for tougher regulations. These tougher regulations included legislation on upcoming economic rescue packages that would tighten financial regulations and reinforce some of the provisions of the 2010 Dodd-Frank Act, arguing that the recent validity in the market is a sign that more oversight is needed. The bill would bolster Financial Stability Oversight Council and the Office for Financial Research. Two bodies that are overseen by the Treasury Department have been allowed to languish in terms of funding, staffing, and influence by Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary. The Trump administration has been quietly chipping away at financial regulations over 3 years, and the bill would reverse some of those efforts. Yeah. Next time we have is jailed youth are seeking to be released as the virus is spreading. Just like how the Theodore Roosevelt was kind of just a human stew. That sounds gross, but of how the virus could spread. Obviously, prisons are going to be the same way. Do we release them? I don't know. That's a tough question. It's a moral question, in which it ultimately comes up to you. And then last headline we have is actually kind of a good one. It says the S&P 500 rose more than 2% in early trading, signaling a rebound after a glum Monday on Wall Street. So I'm no economist, and I really don't understand how we can say that a recession is going to come up, but our stock market's rising. Something I'll have to research in the future. But yeah, that's all we have for today's headlines. Now we can talk to you about what's going on and what I'm planning on doing for today. So today, actually, let's start with last night. Last night I went to bed. I got off on my video games at like 9:30, but then like I just stayed on my phone until like 11:30, and then passed out. And then I was gonna wake up at 7:30. Next thing I know, I wake up it's 8:30. So already a great morning. I feel well rested though, so that's good. So I woke up 8:30. I made a breakfast burrito. Then I came down, washed all my dishes and stuff, came down, and then it's 9:30. And it's like, well, I don't have enough time to start my homework because I have a podcast at 11, and I start prepping for the podcast around 10. So I kind of just opened up all my homework tabs because all our teachers want us to like log in to prove that we're actually going to school. And I looked at everything, and then I found that I had a couple assignments that I didn't do yesterday, which I thought I did, but apparently not. So I'm going to be doing that today. I have another podcast, the Trev, Jed, and Zach Experience. This was our telethon piece that I don't think will be happening, but we're going to go record it now. Basically, it's a play on Joe Rogan Experience, and we were just going to talk about a bunch of different things. We're going to do a Zoom call, just like what I've been doing, really, but this is one of their broadcasting pieces, so we'll just do that instead. And then I think at 1 p.m. I have a Zoom meeting with my broadcasting class, so that'll be great. And then what else do I have today? I have like a study guide question I need to do with my calc. I have multiple choice. I have a 40-minute timed essay, and then I have a review sheet in physics. So really, I think today's going to be just my hunkered down day where I get a bunch of homework done. Obviously, I'll still play my video games tonight, but timing and pacing is weird because like lately it's been so cold in the mornings that I can't just wake up and go work out. Like it was like 28 degrees, 30 degrees this morning. But of course it's like 42 right now. So I guess right after this podcast I can go into my workout. But it's just I don't want to start a workout and not finish it, especially when I have a Zoom meeting at 1 and then lunch in between that somewhere. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to start figuring out my how to actually get my routine down and get it better. We're 3 weeks into this and I can't even have my routine down. I keep changing it. Partly because all my friends and all those people in this Discord that I'm talking about, like BURNIE, Omega, people like that, what we can see is that they all stay up late and I don't. And I mean, I still do, but I just don't stay up late playing video games. I don't know. I feel like my body gets wrecked whenever I do that. But maybe I just need to start waking up and start running in the cold and just embrace it and not be soft, because in the end, I'll get it done earlier. And I know when I was waking up and working out, I felt so much better. I do my homework. Actually, I'd wake up, work out, podcast, homework, play video games. Lately, I've been waking up, eating breakfast, doing nothing for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Then I'll do my podcast, and then I'll do my homework. And then I feel like it's about the same. It's just everything's pushed back, because then I'll work out. Like yesterday, I worked out from like 3 to 5. And then from 5, I ate. And then I just played CS for like 2-3 hours, 4 hours maybe. And then that was my day. And I feel like I didn't get as much gaming in. But I don't know, dude. It's toughy. I'll have to figure out a better program. I also want to start watching some more movies again. I know Sunday, Easter Sunday, I watched Doctor Strangelove and Shawshank Redemption, and that was really good movies. And I just want to start watching more movies like that, and movies that I need to watch. Like a lot of the Alfred Hitchcock movies I want to watch. I might just round out all the Stanley Kubrick films. I haven't finished all the Quentin Tarantino movies. I still have like Death Proof and then 4 Rooms to finish. But yeah, I mean, time. I feel like with this quarantine, I close my eyes, I wake up, it'll be 7:20, I blink, and then it's 5 p.m. It's just like go, even though we're not going anywhere. And I feel like I got more out of my day going to school, because I would see people, I would chill, and I could have fun, like hang out with my good friends, talk to people that I love talking to. But now it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm put into a corner where I'm only talking to certain people. I'm only talking to my family. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just, I'm a very sociable and social person. I love talking to people and talking to a lot of people. And it's just tough when I can't talk to people. So, yeah, I guess quarantine's starting to get to me. Trevantine's starting to get to me. But, this is why we have outlets like this. This is why we get podcasts and stuff. Also, I'd like to mention that yesterday's podcast, I got a new mic arm. Check this out. This is probably going to sound bad. I got a new mic arm with a pop filter. $25 on Amazon. Not a bad deal. Plus, I think it looks a little more professional. The bad thing is you can't see my mouth. Maybe I need to just look up better ways to mount it. Also, the mounting is not good. There's like a little ledge on my desk. You can see it right here. It's like starting to come off. And the mic arm's like clamped down to it, and it's starting to like pull it off more. I know one time yesterday, right before the mic arm fell off my desk, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I think this is much better, especially when I'm gaming too, is because it's not on my desk. Whenever I pound on my desk, I mean, you'll still hear the reverberation or the vibrations through the mic arm, but it's not as bad as whenever it was just a mic stand on my desk. So yeah, that's my little rant for today. That was today's episode of Trevantine. Same old thing. This is going to be the way it is for a while. Keep washing your hands, and until next time, I'll catch you on the north side. On my desk. So yeah, that's my little rant for today. That was